Is that the air I hear coming out of the balloon, or is the bubble popping? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, September the 6th, and of course tomorrow's Labor Day, and well, it's an interesting finish to the week. We look at the general markets, and we'll get to that more in our market segment, but interesting week. So again, I guess the question is the bubble popping, or is this just another buying opportunity? And again, the answers will be determined over time, but not necessarily the next couple of days, but soon they will start to make a direction and trend one way or the other. In the meantime, you could see some consolidation, but we will get into that more in our market segments. But a jobs number, another big jobs number. I mean, unemployment down to 8.4. So, again, there's a lot of question about the reports. Are they manipulated? Are they? Nobody knows. Here's always the issue with government reports. Nobody really knows the true answers. And what they usually do, what they've done in the past, is there's usually always some sort of adjustment. If a number was too good one month, they usually readjust it back the next. So it's always hard to say, which is why we never trade the news. We never trade reports. But certainly, government reports are worthless because, we're trying to figure out if they know how to count or not. And obviously, we know they have a lot of trouble counting because we have so much deficit. So they obviously don't have any idea how to run a balance sheet and run a business. So it's hard to say, again, I don't know one way or the other. I do know that a lot of people are back to work. I do know that there's a lot more jobs in the states that are open now. But again, is the numbers accurate? I have no comment either way because I really don't know. And that would be the facts, but of course, I don't think the BLS really knows either, which is just another issue and how we arrive at some of the statistics that are reported around. In the meantime, again, the stock market itself has been thriving until the last couple of days. The overall economy is extremely weak still, so we'll see. I mean, again, there's going to be another Occupy Wall Street, but I think they're going to call it Occupy Lafayette Park as they try to, once again, get to the president. So they're in their last ditch attempt. I think the date is supposedly September 17th. You'll have the group of terrorists again that were Occupy Wall Street for so many years. And, all it is a paid group. Okay. And who is paying it? Your guess is as good as mine, but I have a pretty solid guess. Okay. But we look at this and, what it all comes down to is, unfortunately, the United States has become divided, and we're no longer Americans. You're either on the left side or you're on the right side, and everything is determined by the side you reside on. Whether from the coronavirus to the drugs that we take, there's not one issue right now that is not controlled by whichever party. Okay, and again, it's basically from the economy being shut in every state that's left and open in every state that's right to everything else. So who is right? Well, again, I believe that certainly the country should be open. I believe that we should be in operation, and I believe that if you feel that you're at high risk, then you should not have to go to work or you should not leave the house, and I have no problem with that. So we're back to let Americans live and let them do their thing, but of course, you've got your double standard that is really perpetrated by the left. Okay, even as far as Nancy Pelosi going to have her hair done. And then when she got caught saying that, she was set up by the salon owner. Now, think about that. I mean, is that not the most ridiculous statement you've ever heard? She was set up. Does that mean she does not know better about than going to a salon? Let's not be foolish here. That we've had so many businesses that have been forced to remain closed that some have started to rebel. Which is, listen, they should rebel. We should see people open, because here we are. You're destroying the American people. You're destroying small business. Why would anybody want to destroy small business unless they were trying to take over the world? And that's what it appears. Look what's trying to happen. I mean, just think about it. Forget about your political views for a minute. Look what's going on. And look what they've done in the past 4 years. I mean, if you look at the government in general, if you look at what they've done in the last 100 years, it may have been very much. But, there have been a few exceptions. But overall, it's just a battle of power. And why does everybody want the power so much? Well, obviously, it's probably has to do with the money. And that is what I find disturbing, that the party of, I guess, socialism or liberalism and to give money away is really not wanting to give it away. They're really trying to keep many stifled and stymied as they've done for years. So, again, we'll see. As you know, as I say very clearly, I could sit on either side. I'm more center and a libertarian versus either. But the given choice today is whether I want to give up capitalism and have one power rule the world, or do I want to take my chances? I think I'll take my chances with a free market in a free economy, and somebody who understands the economics that isn't out to tax me out of my life. So that's up to you. But of course, we will see coming up shortly. I guess we're less than 60 days away from the election. But again, you look at reports on COVID, for example. Many are being found. We're finding reports that many of it is misdiagnosed, many of it is misreported. Now, we know a lot of the hospital's agenda behind that because they get paid more money for a COVID death. So that comes down to money. Listen, that's no different than Medicaid fraud, all the other things that have happened over the years in the industry that involve money. There's usually some sort of a scandal. Now, again, I don't have any idea. I just know that a lot of it is BS, and we're being hand-fed a ton of crap that has absolutely no bearing on anything. But again, to create the fear, to create the narrative, things have to be done in a certain way, and to me, it's a crock. I mean, I live in a community that you can't do anything. The only good news about what's going on today is if I have to drive somewhere, which I hate to do, there's no traffic. So that's the only good news of what I can see from here. And really, obviously, it's terrible news. Every one of my favorite restaurants is out because they were all owned by small businesses and they can't be open. I think you have to look at, there's a lot of talk about China now, and they want to. There's talk. Again, this has been going on for a long time, but them dumping U.S. Treasuries. So between the COVID virus, which I do believe that was more of chemical warfare and more sent here, but let's say either way, I think China may be getting ready to make a move to try to take over the world. Now, I would suspect that their plan might be to try to dump the treasury market. Now, they won't do well there, because one thing about the government, when you own government-controlled securities, they can devalue those awfully quickly and really hose China with that. But it looks to me their plan could be to start buying up foreign currencies and forcing their economies even further into the dumper, and hoping they can drive us into the dumper as well, giving them now the economic power to tie up. Now, again, that's a big conspiracy theory, but this whole futures dumping, not futures, bond futures dumping and treasury dumping, that would be something that would be one of the only reasons that they would be making this kind of play, if indeed they are. Now, again, this is more rumor and speculation, but it is something to think about. Now we are entering, obviously, September, and it's been a rough go so far. September, October can be very tricky. Historically, I'm not a big fan of historical markets, because historical markets, summer are usually dead. Well, this summer wasn't so dead, and the markets went straight up. But historically, September's weak, and October can be, joyous or very painful, as we've witnessed by the major collapses in history. Most have come in October, from the October 29, 19th of 1987. And, actually it started in 2008, was the biggest month in spike in volatility in October. Of course, the big NASDAQ collapse began in March, but most of the big numbers fall in these spots. So, I don't buy into it. We're trend traders, and we don't really care what the news is. So I think that we just look at it and take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, what you really care about is just the price action anyways. So, again, just to remind you of what is out there and what is being said, because don't forget that journalists and TV pundits are there to help try to manipulate or control your opinion about markets and about what's going on. And of course, for them, having bull markets or strong markets, are always better for ratings. So, as I say, and even when I appear, it's if I am going to appear on a network, somebody want me to say something, I say, well, I'm sorry, I pass, because I will not say what I don't believe. But of course, they don't know what they believe to begin with, but it's always usually with an agenda, including most of the guests. But in the meantime, we'll see what happens. And Tesla, the huge move up, the big stock split, and now they did not get into the S&P 500. What happens to the stock now? And I'm not going to say that it will collapse or crumble. I'm just saying that the news is probably rather shocking and could be of some issue going forward. So I think it's something to look at. And I think as we look also into a little bit of a political issue here, Vice President, Joe Biden was out and did a couple of pressers this week. But isn't it interesting that the pressers were scripted? Isn't it interesting that he had a certain order of calling on the reporters, and that he knew every question, and the answer was on the teleprompter? So again, I ask you, is this the guy that you want to lead you? Now, look, even Neil Cavuto, who I don't have a great relationship with in the first place, number one. Number two, that he's always leans to the left, which is fine. Again, I don't care who you're for, just do something. But in the meantime, he is commenting and was almost outraged by the pressers and the way that every question from the media was A, scripted, but B, had to do with Trump. Now, just a question for you smart people out there that want to vote for him. If he has such a great plan, where has it been for the last 47 years? If he has such great stuff and he's so smart about running the country, where was it when he was the vice president for 8 years? So again, let's not be fooled by the billions of dollars spent and the political nonsense on either side. But it's been proven the Obama administration had the weakest recovery in history, and it's been proven by the numbers that the Trump administration has had the strongest. It's very much that simple. They can say whatever they want. You can think whatever you want, but those numbers don't lie. That's what you have to take a look at. And again, if that's what you believe in, again, vote for who you want. I have no problem. But do get off your ass and vote. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bob Horowitz. It is Sunday, September the 6th, and we're going to stop out here for a break. We'll be back with more. And everybody, what's up? We did a great hedging webinar yesterday. If you'd like to get a copy of that, because this will be the last class of 2020, and it's got a good chance that maybe the last class ever that can be out to the public. So if you'd like to check out the recording, just email me at bub@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send it to you. And again, don't forget about our great brokerage partners. Now, again, as you know, I have brokerage accounts at other places, but I prefer for our letter of direction trading is CTG. And why? Because A, they've got great customer service, because they take care of it, they handle the orders, they pick up the phone, they've got some great new products coming out, and we like working with them because it's a great relationship, and all of our people enjoy being part of that team. And of course, in equities and options, you've got Tradier that is, again, it's $10 a month. That's the easy part to start with. They've got a great system, they're set up fine. And I ask you, if you're paying anything more than $10 a month to trade, why would you want to? Besides the fact that, we have their API and we are going to automate everything by the end of the year. So it's a great natural fit for us. And the commodity report from Andy Hecht, Technimental, has been on fire. He analyzes all the commodity markets and gives you corresponding ETFs for those who want to trade in those markets. You're always set up to the right side and have an understanding of a 40-year veteran who gives you the fundamental analysis as well as the technical analysis. So it is called Technimental. It is available at BUBBA'S.com. In the store at Technimental, it's $100 a month or $800 annually. Prices will be going up, but for now, that's where you can go. And if you like, I want to help out our high school program, please do so at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And last but not least, our great partnership with Family Farms, which we're really looking forward to. So hopefully the countries, the cities, and the states will at some point open. But we're looking forward to a lot of good stuff with them. So we'll keep you posted there. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my market update and commentary. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And as we look, markets had one of their biggest months ever. And we have, until the last couple of days, it looked like that the markets were off their way to Pluto with new high after new high after new high. So the real question is this the end? And is it going to crash? Or are we going to get the usual big bounce back up? And nobody knows the answer to that. Based on our positions, based on what I hold, we are short the S&P. Tonight or Tuesday morning, we will be short the NASDAQ. And we are long the Dow and long the mini Russell. Now, what does that mean? We are reversing over. Our equity portfolios are reversing more short now. So do I know? I don't know. But I don't profess to know. I don't want to know. I want to follow the price action because nobody can predict what's going to happen over the next week, month, year. Impossible. You can get guesses, but it's easier, instead of guessing, to follow the price action. So in the meantime, we are split, and so we're short 2, long 2. Metals, we're still short across the board. Now again, they are also at some key levels along the bottom line of support, all three, platinum, gold, and silver. What do they do from here? Well, we'll see. We're short. So again, my assumption has to be lower because that's the position that I'm carrying. And I'm carrying that position because the price action dictates it. I have no opinion one way or the other. That's my position dictates. As I've told you before, I buy physical gold all the time. But when it comes to trading and investing and holding are different animals, which is why we hedge our portfolios. So in the meantime, we're short across the board. We are going to reverse crude oil. So look at the big smile. I wish we would have reversed the other day, but in the meantime, we will be reversing crude oil, which is, again, I don't believe that, crude's ever going way back up there again. So I could be wrong. Listen, I could be wrong. And you know what? If it reverses back again, then I'll have to reverse back with it. That's just the way life goes. The notes and bonds, they've been weak. And of course, we're short them and will continue to be so until, again, the signals change. Remember, we don't fight with the price action. We just take what we got, and the price dictates what we're going to do next. That's it, and that's why our signals can change from day to day. But now we don't change, obviously, very often. And you look at natural gas, that's kind of trending its way higher. Copper's been extremely wild, but it looks like it's back on the upswing. So we'll see how all these work. The dollar it bounced perfectly from the 92 level. What does it mean? Well, look, it means that we thought 92 to 94 were in that range. And I think you'll probably see a run back close to 94, 93.50. And then it'll make a decision. Either the bottom is in and it's going higher, or it was just a rally within that consolidated before going down even further. Remember, markets have to relieve certain types of conditions before they will make the next move. So typically, after a big move in one direction or the other, normally there's a period of consolidation as the markets digest and decipher what's to be next. And that we don't know. So we will continue to obviously play all markets in the same manner and not try to outthink, outsmart, and outtrade them. Just follow price action. And then we don't have to worry. Now, grain markets looking pretty good. They've come back nicely. And of course, we are now long across the board. And we always wanted to be long, but as everything else, we're going to only trade out the price action. So, but they look very solid, and I think we could see significantly higher prices, but I hope that they trade and they don't go straight up, because I think the stronger rallies are built on trends higher at slower paces versus just one gigantic big, upsurge. I think those typically fail. Meats, we're short cattle, both fats and feeders, and they are a little bit weaker. I think that, again, I like them. I'm not as concerned as I would have been when the prices were lower. We are, but I think there's a lot more room on the upside. And my guess is we'll reverse these before we make any real money on the downside. But, again, basically I'm short, so I hope I'm wrong. Hogs were long, and they look pretty good. Now, I think they've gone up a little bit too far, too fast, and I'm sure there'll be some consolidation or some congestion, and we'll see. The bottom line is, in everything, whether you're farming or whether you're in equities, is to be hedged. If you have the right hedge position on and you have the protection, then none of the nonsense really matters. And you benefit always from either side of the market. In farming, you never miss an upside move, which we've done many, many times before by not knowing the right strategy to use to protect. But if you're just protected all the time and always leaving the top wide open, you don't have a problem. In your equities, your retirement, you're looking to compound those portfolios. So you're reinvesting money that you make when the markets go down. So either way, it always makes more sense to be protected versus being left wide open. So now, again, we talked a little bit about Tesla in the opening. Again, will Tesla fall apart here because of, not getting into the S&P 500? I don't know. Look, it was a big deal because it allows, more trade, more capital flow in from more commercial money. So we'll see where they go from here. Markets are in a very interesting spot right now. And what's going to happen, in my opinion, is either obviously they're going to bounce or this is the bubbles popping. Now, if I had to guess, I would say the bubble's popping. But that I'm not going to make a prediction. I'm going to say to you that watch the price action. Now, we're going to get some rallies here either way. Even if this is and we're going to get the big sell-off, we're going to get some rallies. The real key is how do the rallies perform, and how do they perform when they sell off a little bit again and come back again. If you start to see consistently lower highs showing up, you can assume it's over. And the real thing here will be the disbelief of the past dip buyers that say that can't be right. We'll take a look. We'll see. Again, I'm not going to predict to you. I'm going to tell you how to watch the price action. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. I am Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to step by here for a break. We'll be back with more and just my commentary after the break. Well, kids, yesterday I did a great hedging webinar. And if you'd like to listen to it, I think you'd be wise. It will be for sure the last one of 2020, but it's potentially the last one ever as I contemplate slowing it down a little bit. But in the meantime, certainly you're welcome to this recording. That is free. So if you want to check it out, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com and our partners at Family Farms. And, we're doing a lot with them and hoping to help farmers get protected. As you know, I'm a big believer in protection, but a lot of great things working with them. So we're really excited about that. And of course, our commodity report with Andy Heck, technimental. Andy's become a big part of Bubba Trading in general. And what we're looking for, obviously, with him is he's starting with the commodity report and the technimental because he does a great job. He's 40 years. He's been a commercial trader, at one time the biggest silver trader in the world, the number one author for Seeking Alpha, plus the fact that he's been worldwide trading physical commodities as well. Check out the report. It's great. It's $100 a month or $800 a year. The prices will be going up, but if you'd like to check it out, please do so. And our high school program, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. It's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And of course, don't forget our brokerage partners. CTG for our letter of direction, futures and commodities. You can self-trade, you can self-direct there too. But they do have the authority to do all of our letter of direction trading. And of course, they do things every morning. If there is a trade, it is done at usually about 6:30 a.m. Central Time. So again, it's and they do a block trade, so everybody gets the same fill. In the meantime, again, you do know I have a brokerage counsel elsewhere, so just to be clear, but I do prefer them, and they do my letter of direction trading for my accounts. And for equities and options, there's nothing like trade here. $10 a month, how can you beat it? It's that simple. You can do a lot of things, but why give away your own money? All right, it's time to get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary, and we'll be right there in a moment. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. I am Todd BUBBA. Of course, every week I give you a little bit of my commentary. And I read something interesting this week. I usually don't read this, but I'm gonna pull this up and just share this with you. Okay. We have the big Black Lives Matter and the whole protesting. And so Larry Elder, who is a conservative, and he's an African American conservative, and he wrote this. Okay, he put together, and there are 50 million police civilian contacts each year. There are 10 million arrests, 60,000 officers assaulted, 1,000 killed by the police, most resisted arrests with a weapon or resisted violently, 500 whites, 250 blacks, more unarmed whites killed than unarmed blacks. So I asked you, now again, I'm giving you just facts that I read. I've seen this movement, and I have no problem with some of the inequities that are out there. I do not disagree. Obviously, I don't like the violent protesting, but I also don't like the way that we see things being done, and it's almost trying to dictate, which is really to hurt ratings for many of the sports now, because they're becoming politics versus playing sports. Now, but the real facts are the numbers are the numbers. Those numbers, you cannot lie. So I ask you, and again, I do not have the answer. I do support, obviously equal rights for everybody. I've always been a big advocate of that anyways. But my point here is by the numbers, by the facts, which is we've always kind of known, is more unarmed white people are killed than unarmed black people. And more are arrested, but of course the population is bigger as well. But in comparison, the numbers are probably fairly close to equal. So we look at it, and I'm asking you: is all of this protesting worthwhile? Are they accomplishing anything? Are they too busy alienating everybody and turning everybody off? And again, I don't have the answer to that, but maybe you do. But it's just something to think about as we continue to watch athletes and now them step up and make statements which may or may not be really helping the situation and maybe actually fanning the flames. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Labor Day weekend, and of course, have a great day off tomorrow. If you have it off, of course, we've all been off for so long, but enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, enjoy life, and have a great week. We'll see you on Tuesday with a Bubba's Daily Update. The markets are open electronically tonight and tomorrow morning till noon. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll see you next week here on Bubba's Bottom Line.